Hello, welcome to Northampton Economics Tutor website. Today we are looking at the 25 multiple choice questions for AQA Economics Unit 2, the National Economy. The paper is from January 2012. In question number 1, I have given you the solution by demonstrating through a diagram wherein I've said the AS curve has moved right towards the outside AS2 because of increase in productivity, which is supply side, and the prices have fallen down from P1 to P2, hence lower inflation. In question number 2, I've said D is the answer, the skills of the unemployed not matching those skills required for the available jobs. And a good example would be, can we have steel workers who can be employed in banking? Surely not, because they have to have the banking skills. In question number 3, the table below shows the index for nominal national income GDP and the price level CPI for a country in 2009-2010. If we look at GDP from 2009, it's gone from 100 to 130, which is an increase in 30%. Inflation, which is measured by using CPI, has increased from 120 to 150, which is 25%. Why? Increase, which is 30 over 120 times 100 will give you 25%. If we look for real GDP, which is 30 divided by 25 equals 1.2. So we can say the real national income has actually increased. In question number 4, again, I have given you both the explanation using a diagram and the formula that aggregate demands equals C plus G plus I plus X minus M. If the government's got a budget deficit, the aggregate demand falls because of the government expenditure falling down. So aggregate demand may fall as a result of decrease in the government's budget deficit. In question number 5, all other things being equal, which one of the following sets of changes in an economy, A, B, C or D, would be most likely to bring about an improvement in its balance of payments deficit on current account? And I have given you the answer B, which is with the reasons manufacturing costs will decrease, British goods will be cheaper as the pound is weak, less disposable income, less imports. In question number 6, C is the answer because of cost push inflation. In question number 7, A is the answer. I've said European goods will be cheaper to buy more exports, less unemployment, more growth. And I've shown this inflation using AD shifts outside, so AD increases. And I've also said GDP can be measured C plus G plus I plus X minus M if the exports are rising. So if export increases, unemployment decreases, economic growth increases. In question number 8, I have shown you with the demonstration of the LRAS curve, which moves on the outside because increase in GDP. Hence B is the answer, an increase in the trend rate of economic growth. In question number 9, the economy will move from point X to Y. That is a shift in the aggregate demand curve towards the right. And I've explained if the exchange rate falls, then we know our exports will become more competitive and hence there will be more demand. Also, if there is an increase in government spending, the net result will be that the AD will move outwards. I've also explained why A, B and C are incorrect by giving you explanations over here. So you could have done this question by process of elimination. In question number 10, I have stated the LRAS moves outwards, price and cost. So the provision of funds by banking to finance investment in manufacturing will move the LRAS to the right. In question number 11, we can see the aggregate demand has moved leftwards from 81 to 82, which again is because of imports. If we look at the formula, AD equals C plus G plus I plus X minus M, we know if import goes up, the entire X minus M will decrease, hence moving the AD inwards. In question number 12, the graph shows the increase in real GDP at 2000 prices. So if you look from 2002 onwards, the increase in GDP has increased over here by 2%, has increased over here at 5%. The increase has fallen down, but the GDP has still increased by nearly 3%. So we can safely say that in part B is the answer, that real national output has increased each year from 2002. In question number 13, a sustained fall in the exchange rate is more likely to decrease unemployment. Why? Because the British goods will become more competitive and foreigners will buy, so there will be more aggregate demand. The aggregate demand will move right. In question number 14, A is the answer. Why? Because I've used process of elimination and I've said B is not the answer, as monetary policy is more to do with interest rates and quantitative easing. D is not the answer because it's about interest rates. C are designed to reduce the potential output of the economy, which is completely incorrect. So supply side improvements in the economy may originate in the business sector independently of the government. Part A is the answer. In question number 15, the multiplier effect of an increase in investment of an economy. B is the answer, a larger increase in national income than in investment. What I've done over here is I've said, let's say multiplier is equal to 1.5, and if you spend £100, then national income increase would be 150 to demonstrate that the multiplier actually increases the aggregate demand. But there is also a multiplier that can be negative as well. In question number 16, all other things being equal, if inflation in the UK economy falls from 3% to 1%, it can be concluded that the cost of living for average person in the UK has continued to rise. Though it has fallen down by 2%, but the prices are still going up. So let's say, for example, if a Mars bar was £1, it'll become £1.10. In question number 17, B is the answer, which is increasing government expenditure. Why? Because if we increase government expenditure, it will increase demand and in long term decrease the value of pound. Why? Because we are importing too much and exporting less. In question number 18, I've put down D as the answer because I've said low wages, so no cost push inflation, the rate of inflation will decrease. The balance of payments deficit on the current account, British goods should be cheaper to buy for foreigners. In question number 19, what I've done is I've given you a diagram over here, and I've said that this is the negative output, so cyclical unemployment is increasing, recession. I've also used process of elimination and giving you the reason why A, B and C are not the answers. In question number 20, again graphs. Looking at graph B, what we've said is SRAS has moved inwards, which is because of cost push. AD1 has moved outwards. Why? Increase in demand from emerging markets, hence B is the answer. Question 21, C is the answer, an increase in government expenditure. I've also used process of elimination and said why A, B and C would not be the answer. So if you look over here, AD is equal to C plus G plus I plus X minus M. If the government spending goes up, the aggregate demand will increase. In question number 22, in the short term, contractionary fiscal policy is most likely to move the aggregate demand curve inwards. The prices will fall. Why? Because of low demand. And a rise in unemployment. Why? Because businesses will make people redundant, and if less demand, as businesses are more keen to reduce their existing stocks. In question number 23, a conflict between macroeconomic policy objectives sometimes exists. Why? Because the answer C. More money, people will consume cheaper imports, causing unemployment. So an increase in aggregate demand might reduce unemployment but result in a deterioration in the balance of payments on current account. Question number 24, C, the banking system are the capital stock for policy making in an economy. Question 25, what I've said is the SRAS curve will move inwards because of an increase in the prices of oil, and the aggregate demand curve will reduce. Why? Because there's restriction on bank lending. So if we look at these two curves, T is the point. That is the answer, point T.